All right, welcome into the FNIA podcast. We are presented by Lowe's, and there are only two undefeated teams remaining. Gentlemen, you know Tony Dungy in the middle, Rodney Harrison on the outside, Jac Collinsworth, and the Bills going to be on Sunday Night Football again. This is twice now in the first 5 weeks of the season, but let's get to the Eagles first. We'll get to the Bills and the Patriots later on. They keep finding ways to win. Rodney, how do they do it? How do you view the defending champs right now?
I like what I'm seeing, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You look in that secondary, the most impressive thing I saw on Sunday was these DBs, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, the tackling, the coverage ability, just the competitiveness. And to have young guys like that, coach, that you can count on, you can depend on. You're not paying them a ton of money. And these are two of the best players in the National Football League. The Philadelphia Eagles have to be excited about what they see in these two young men.
Yeah, they are playing really well. As a Tampa resident, though, I have to give you the other side of it. Everybody down here is talking about how they're grabbing jerseys and not getting called for it. But they have that secondary has saved them because their front is not playing the way that we're used to seeing the Philadelphia Eagles front play. The other side of the ball, obviously, they've got some concerns, but they are finding ways to win. Special teams, making the big play, blocking kicks when they need it. The offense coming up with the play when they need it. Some things are glass half empty in Philadelphia, but the fact they're 4-0, I think, speaks to their championship mentality.
Would they be the best team right now? I don't want to go NFL, but I want to go in the NFC. Is that the most feared team, would you say right now, Coach?
I don't think so. Not the way they're playing right now. The Rams went into Philadelphia, should have won the game. If you can kick a field goal and protect for your field goal kicker, you're going to win the game in Philadelphia. Tampa didn't play really, really well, got a punt blocked, threw an interception in the end zone. So, yeah, they're finding ways to win, but it sounds like Kansas City last year. Hey, they're winning, but not winning impressively.
You're crazy, coach. Ain't nowhere in the world there's a more intimidating team than the Philadelphia Eagles. And to me, this is a telltale sign. They're not running the ball as effectively as they've run it in the past, but they're still winning. They're still finding ways. A.J. Brown, he's not happy. He's not getting the football. So when this offense starts to click, remember there's a new offensive coordinator that came in. So it's going to take a little time to learn all his, the intricacies of this offense. But I still think the Eagles are the most dangerous. They're getting better on the defensive side of the ball. They're trying to figure out some things offensively. But I like the Eagles. And this is, like you talked about, that championship mindset. They trust one another. They know they can get it done when they have to get it done. And they know their players.
Yeah, they've got big name guys, no question about it. They step up in the big moments. But I'm used to Philadelphia dominating the offensive line and the defensive line, and I haven't seen that yet this year. So if that comes, then they're going to be right back where they were. If it doesn't come, their big play guys are going to have to win for them.
And coach, this is the first month of the season. Okay, this is the first month of the season.
I agree.
They're working some things out, so just give it some time.
I agree.
Why do you guys think it is that A.J. Brown, that some weeks he's got, 9 catches for 100 yards, and then we come back and he has 1 catch and he's tweeting out that he's mad. And it doesn't seem like it's just this year. This has been a little bit of an ongoing pattern with them. Is it something within the flow of the offense, or do you just think that's life in the NFL? I'll start with you, Coach. What's going on with A.J. in this offense?
Yeah, he's frustrated, but I went back and looked at the numbers. I saw that tweet, and he has 28 targets this year, so that's 7 a game. It's not like they're ignoring him. Last week, when he's frustrated, he had 9 targets, 2 catches for just minimal yards. So something is going on. He doesn't feel the chemistry's there. Maybe they're not doing what he thinks they should do with him. But it's not for the fact that they're not trying to get him the ball. And to me, the disappointing thing is, Rodney, if I were coaching there, I'd say, AJ, come in and vent on me. Tell it all to me. You don't need to go outside. You don't need to go to the public. You don't need to go to the press or social media. Let's talk about this in-house and get it straightened out.
Coach, I was going to ask you, what do you think as far as Jalen Hurts? Because I watched the tape and I see a lot of either man-to-man coverage or a lot of 3-deep zone. And, DBs are playing 8, 9, 10 yards off of them. And those are easy opportunities for a guy like Jalen Hurts just to call a little check with me, throw it out there and give him some opportunities as opposed to everything being down the field. I think that's one of the things that I look at. It's not like at times they're playing cover two and maybe double covering both wide receivers, but for the most part, this guy has a lot of opportunities for one-on-one. I think it's up to the quarterback to get him the football.
Well, I think that's what's got him so frustrated, A.J. Brown, because with what Philadelphia does, the zone reads and the quarterback running the ball, you can't really play zone. You have to play man-to-man. So he's saying, I've got man-to-man the whole game, and you can't get me the ball. Something is wrong because I can beat my guy. They've got to just dial up the things that help him and let him do what he can do. He's going to break out here sooner or later, no doubt.
Remember last year, guys, what really turned the Philadelphia Eagles season around was the offensive line went to Nick Sirianni and said, hey, man, we need to start running the football. And maybe that's something they need to say now. Hey, we're not having a lot of success running the football. Let's really pass the ball. Let's get Devontae. Let's get A.J. Brown involved more. So maybe that does open up the line of scrimmage and the possibility of running the ball a lot more consistently.
Well, I think they are going to have to throw it better because everyone is coming in saying, we have to stop Saquon. We have to stop Saquon. And you can see people loading up. So they're going to have to make people pay. And, this is probably a good week to do it against Denver. It's going to be that type of game.
My last point, Jack, would be if I'm Nick Sirianni, I got to bring in Jalen Hurts and I got to bring in A.J. Brown. And the last thing you want is these guys having some type of bitterness toward one another and not working on the same accord. So what needs to be said needs to be shared in front of those three guys. Yep. Have a meeting, and talk about your expectations and your disappointments, and let's see if this is something that we can get past.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Well, speaking of getting past it, let's get to the Kansas City Chiefs, the other team that we saw in last year's Super Bowl, and they seem to be getting back on track. They got Xavier Worthy back, and that was a big boost, but sort of got right against the Giants on Sunday Night Football and then got more right this past week. Rod, how do we view Kansas City right now with some of their guys starting to come back?
I think like Coach said this past week, they're getting healthier. And I love the fact that Xavier Worthy, I mean, this young man, he's come in. I know his first game, I gave him a hard time calling him a little skinny dude, but his energy and the speed that he plays with had a huge impact on this entire team. I love the fact that the Chiefs are getting back to taking shots down the field, even though Patrick Mahomes, he's not connecting on a lot of them, Coach, but the fact that they can throw the ball, that they're actually threatening a defense, I think that really helped the run game and being able to spread the ball around.
No question about it. For the first time this past Sunday, I saw just drop back, 5 steps, let it go, on rhythm, making some plays down the field. What we'd seen in the past was the only way they got big plays was Mahomes moving around, but they did some stuff on rhythm, and that was promising to me. The other thing was just the opposite of what we're talking about with Philadelphia. We had them, they're 1-2. The whole world is saying, you guys are trash. And what did we hear from their players and coaches? Hey, we're going to be fine. We're going to pull out of this. We're coming together. We know what we have to do. There was no anti-anything. It was just, hey, we'll get this together. And I think starting to get these guys healthy. When Rice comes back, I think they're going to be something.
You start looking at within the division too, and now all of a sudden you start to say, wow, the Chargers lost 3 offensive linemen, the Chiefs are getting healthier, and then all of a sudden you start to see that the Chiefs, that the Chiefs are a very dangerous team, especially now with this run game starting to take place. And when the Chiefs are able to run the football and throw the football with some consistency, and Steve Spagnuolo is going to have that defense right, Coach. They're very tough to deal with.
Let's not forget about that. Baltimore was the #1 scoring team in football last week. Everybody thought, including me, thought they were going to go in there and put up a bunch of points on the Chiefs. The Chiefs basically held them to 13 until a garbage touchdown when their second team was in there. Holding that unit to 13 points, that's Steve Spagnuolo, and they feel confident they can do that. So, I would say the same thing. Look out for the Chiefs.
I like where the Chiefs are right now. Now, the biggest concern to me still is that right tackle spot, Jawan Taylor. We've talked about that a lot. He's by far the lowest graded offensive lineman in the group at a 45 grade. Now, the problem with that is they're paying for that problem. He was somebody that they brought in to help them on the right side of the offensive line. The plus is Simmons over at the left tackle spot has been a good find for them. And I think he will get better throughout the course of this year. And it's interesting, too. Could receiver pass catcher go from weakness? Obviously, they're without two of their best guys and a slow start to the year to now Tyquan Thornton, as a result, gets himself in that circle of trust. So now you're going to have Thornton, another guy, Worthy healthy. Rashee Rice gets back. Hollywood Brown becomes that third, fourth option.
Juju.
Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Noah Gray. That's a lot of guys that they could potentially have when they get themselves fully right. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah. But that's what makes them dangerous. And that's the thing that really made the Chiefs dangerous. It's one guy that you couldn't focus on. Of course, Travis Kelce, he was the key guy when he was younger, flying around, making plays. Now you have to, and this is the thing that makes him very difficult to have to defend, Coach, because you can't go in there with one game plan saying we have to stop this one guy. You have to be concerned with everybody. And when everybody steps up and Juju's making touchdowns and guys are not complaining about how many catches they're getting, this team is dangerous, man. And Andy Reid, and you talk about Jawan Taylor, and I watched Jawan Taylor, and he's given more effort. He at least is trying to get better when you watch him play. So it's not perfect, and they're going to always have to chip and help him out and devise plays to try to work within the scheme. But overall, man, I like where the offensive line is at, and I like his effort. He's at least trying.
And what Jack said, that's a great point. The left tackle is now a little more solid, so you don't have to help both sides. You only have to look at one side. And Mahomes now can eyeball that right side. I don't have to worry about my backside as much. Now that left end who's rushing and giving Taylor problems, he's still got to be careful. He comes inside too fast. There goes Mahomes. He gets upfield. Mahomes ducks underneath. So I think solving that left tackle problem has really helped them. And they might have found another guy, too, in that Smith, that young running back. He's given them some juice, just like Pacheco did when he came in as a late-round choice.
And you'll see with that juice that young running back is given, Pacheco's going to up his game, and you're going to see Kareem Hunt up their game because now it's competition.
Yep.
That's the way it goes. All right, let's stay on that topic. The young juice that is being provided, Jackson Dart, was just that for the New York Giants stepping in. We didn't know if it was going to be the right moment to come in for Russell Wilson, but Jackson Dart clearly brought some life to this offense. Rod, what'd you see from the Rook?
What did I tell you guys 2 weeks ago? I keep telling you guys that they should have been rotating this guy. They should put him in and give him some serious during the game because he brings that, man. He's a young guy. He's got a little arrogance, a little cockiness to him. He's tough. He's running over people. He's celebrating. Russell Wilson made hundreds of millions of dollars. He's participated in 2 Super Bowls. He's a champion. So he's very steady Eddie, but this young man is hungry. He wants it. And you can tell by the way he plays. You can tell by the way the sideline embraces him and how all the other guys hug him and love him. And Cam Scatterboo, you say what you want about the Giants, but they're building a really good foundation with a lot of these young players that they have on the defensive side of the ball, as well as Cam Scatterboo and this young man. I think they're right on track.
Well, I agree. He did bring some juice. And to me, that was the big thing. The stadium was energized. The sideline was energized. He made some plays on third down. He scrambled. But we still have to look at the whole picture. Okay. He threw for 111 yards. He got sacked 5 times. Okay. So there's still some issues there, some problems. They got less than 250 yards of total offense, but they won the game and they had that energy. So that gives them something to build off of, no question.
Yeah.
He's so negative. He's just so negative.
I know. I'm just trying to look at it realistically.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need, Coach.
That's right.
This is Brian Daboll's guy, though. I mean, this is his.
Oh, yeah. And he should be the guy, and they should grow with him. But there's some problems on that team, on that offense that they've got to get squared away. He's going to help because he's mobile, and he can cover up some of those problems, just like Mahomes covers up some of the Chiefs' problems. But they've got a ways to go.
But also having Andrew Thomas back, that left tackle, that was a big
help.
Thing, having him back. Exactly.
Huge. I obviously losing Malik Neighbors. That's the big negative coming out of the game. We're going to keep eyes on Jackson Dart's hamstring, which is something that people are saying could be a little bit of an issue for him. We'll see how that plays out. Mobility, a big factor with him. But with that pass rush, if they can find a quarterback if I'm owning the team, managing the team, I'm letting Brian Daboll coach this year out, no matter what. You're not going to get better if you fire him
Oh,
mid-year.
shit.
Let Daboll coach this thing out with Jackson Dart. Let's see what we got, Coach. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And, hopefully you can grow and Dart grows into the system because they do have young talent. They've got a great defense. And you're right, Jack. If they ever get ahead in games where people
Mm.
have to throw against them, that nobody's going to want to deal with that pass rush that the Giants have.
Yeah, I'm not even thinking about firing Brian Daboll. I mean, I don't think you fire him. I think he did a
No.
great job with Josh Allen. I think he's going to continue to do a pretty good job with this kid.
Yeah, I do too. All right, let's get down to the Ravens, the other side of this coin. How do you fix the Ravens? They gave up 41, 17 in their one win, 38 and 37. So this is one of the worst scoring defenses in the NFL. Not what we're used to from the Ravens. Coach, how do you fix Baltimore right now?
Yeah, and we have to look at it. It is all on one side of the ball. Their offense is rolling. They're putting up points. Lamar Jackson is averaging almost 9 yards a pass. The running backs averaging almost 6 yards a carry. They're scoring points. So how do you fix the defense? And to me, Rod, it's some injuries. Matabike not being in there has been huge. They're down their best pass rusher. Kyle Van Noy hasn't played in a couple of weeks. They only have 4 sacks. To me, that's the biggest problem. They are not getting any pressure on the passer.
Yeah, and that's all part of the game coaching. Kyle Hamilton came out and he said you can't put it all on the defensive coordinator, but to a certain point you can. And the thing that you see when you're watching the tape, you see the missed tackles, you see the bad angles that they're taking, you see miscommunication in the red zone where the defensive back, he has the running back goes across his face, catches ball, goes in the end zone, and the DB is looking in the backfield. Those are things that are correctable. Those are things that you can fix from a defensive standpoint. The thing that I don't like is I don't see that hunger. I don't see them flying around and playing that Raven defense that we're used to seeing. That's the thing that bothers me. The miscommunication is absolutely a problem. Kyle Hamilton is the guy back there. He has to take total control of that secondary. And then you get a guy like Roquan Smith, who we love and we have a lot of respect for. He's trying to guard Travis Kelce, can't make plays. He just doesn't look like the same player.
Yeah. I will give a little bit of caution here. Our Super Bowl year, 2006, the Colts, we had a stretch like this on defense. It wasn't at the beginning of the year. It was in the middle of the year. And we were missing some guys. Bob Sanders was out for us. And Monte Rager, our defensive tackle, got hurt in a car accident. So we were missing 2 key guys. We knew we were going to get Bob back. We made a trade for Booger McFarland. And it shored up our defensive line. Bob came back, and we got to the Super Bowl with the same guys except for those 2 players. So they might just be a player or 2 away, but I agree with Rodney. When you don't have that, when those guys are injured, everybody else now, you have to swarm, you have to fly, you have to be on fire back there to make up for it.
And then you look at a veteran guy like a Marlon Humphrey, and you expect your veteran players, you can depend on them. And excuse me, some of the plays that he didn't make, trying to come up and try to jam the receiver, and the receiver, Xavier Worthy, sprints past him. He's giving up big plays. You can't have that. When you have injuries, your coach is dependent on his veteran players to hold the fort down. And when the veteran players are playing like crap, they're making mistakes, you have no chance on the defensive side of the ball.
And we really thought going in that their secondary was going to be a huge factor this year. Marlon, we know he was there. They get Jair Alexander. They draft the young rookie that's going to let Kyle Hamilton move around. And I thought, man, this secondary is going to be lights out. They haven't been so far, and those guys just have to up their game a little bit.
Here's the big thing coming out of that game with KC, though. They could be without Lamar Jackson for a month now. I mean, him with the pulled hamstring, we've seen how these hamstrings go. Roquan Smith has a hamstring. He could be out 3-4 weeks. I mean, that's one of those injuries that you can't rush back with, or you'll end up dealing with till the playoffs. And so we'll see the exercising of caution here from John Harbaugh, because it's a tough thing. But the way Lamar plays, I would not rush him back. So this is going to be the Cooper Rush show on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen Cooper Rush, though, come in, Coach, for Dallas and win games. Can he do that here in Baltimore? Different style. Can he do it?
Yeah, he can. He definitely can. But what they have to do, like Rodney said, they've got to get that championship mentality back. Everybody else has to pick it up. Okay, we might not have Lamar for a couple of weeks. We've got to go out and win some games on defense. We've got to win some games up front with the running game. They get Ricard back. That'll help too. So I think that if Lamar's out, they may have to be a different style. But Cooper Rush will make plays for them, Rod.
Yeah, they just have to run the ball. You can't give Derrick Henry the ball 8 times and expect, and pass the ball 30, 40 times or whatever, man. Get Derrick Henry going. I mean, I don't care how many times he fumbled. Continue to give him the football.
Yeah. The crazy thing is this could be Shador Sanders' moment. If he didn't micromanage everything about the draft process, he would have been picked by Baltimore. He would have been the backup quarterback, and this would have been the opportunity of a lifetime stepping in for Lamar Jackson. Is that how you see it, Coach? I mean,
Yes,
he's
very, very well could have been there. That's why I don't know that I'd ever say, well, I don't want to play here or you can't play. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what the Lord has in store. Let it play out and do what you can do.
That's it. And as Rodney was saying too, moreover, through the life of your NFL, you don't know what's going to happen in 2 years, in 3 years. All these same people, Rod, like you're saying in the NFL, they change teams. They're still in the league, and they're still going to have an opinion on you down the line, right?
How many times have we been out there, Coach, and there was some young kid that, that met you when they were young, and 10, 15 years later, they have some type of executive position in the organization, and they come up and talk to Coach. Hey, Coach, remember me? I was a ball boy. I was this. All those same people that you see, they're going to change teams. They're going to change positions. Guys are going to go up and, get elevated. And you just show everybody respect. And like Coach said, you never know. You never turn down an opportunity to show people who you are and what you represent and what you stand for. Because none of these jobs last forever. So everybody's going to bounce around.
Yeah, and especially with the quarterback position. We talked about Russell Wilson. Well, he was a third-round draft choice, and they had signed Flynn to a huge contract. Yep. He was supposed to go in and be the backup guy. By the end of camp, he was the starter. And Dak Prescott, Jason Garrett tells the story all the time. They drafted him to be the backup quarterback, and midway through his rookie year, he's the starter and didn't look back. So to me, if I'm Shador Sanders, just somebody draft me, and I'll show you what I can do.
That's it.
That's it. And Jason tells some great Cooper Rush stories too, that every year they'd bring whoever the 6'6", great looking college quarterback is to try to replace him. You're going to be the backup quarterback. You're the guy. Then you're going to maybe compete for the starting job down the line. And Cooper Rush would come in, take the offense 80 yards down the field, score a touchdown, and they bring him back and you do it again. You go, how are you going to cut this guy? And so that's who he's been, and that will be their interim quarterback as they wait for Lamar to get healthy. Let's move it on down. Aaron Glenn, they're 0-4. Interesting thing about this with the Jets is he told Aaron Rodgers, we're not interested in you, sent him right back on his airplane. And now he ends up at 0-4, and Aaron Rodgers looks darn good with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coach, how do you see this with the Jets at this point?
That's a long-term decision. And I think for Aaron Glenn, here's my advice to him and the Jets organization. Be patient. Don't panic. Be happy. Keep harping on the fundamentals, stay positive, and do what you do. Don't abandon your game plan. Don't think, oh gosh, this isn't working. I'm going to give you some stats, Rod, some numbers that you'll like here. Tony Dungy, 0-5, first 5 games. Joe Gibbs, 0-5, first 5 games. Jimmy Johnson, 1-15. Chuck Noll, 1-13. Bill Walsh, 2-14. Okay. That's some ugly starts, 13 Super Bowls between them. So don't think 4 games, it's not working, it's terrible. And Coach Noll told me something I never forgotten. It helped me during my 0-5 start. Panic is a sign, leaving your game plan is a sign of panic, and panic cannot be in our game plan. So don't panic, stay with the plan, stay with who you are, and you're going to be okay. Keep building and don't worry about it, that you haven't had that success right away.
Yeah, if I'm a player in that locker room, I go to coach and say, hey, coach, hey, man, I believe in you. We believe in you. Don't listen to the media. Stick to your game plan. And what he has to understand too, it takes time, coach. And you know this, when you come into a new coaching opportunity, it takes time to get the bad guys or the guys that's not on your program out of the locker room. You can't automatically come in and get rid of 40, 50 guys. It takes a period of, a couple years, 2 to 3 years to really get all your guys in that locker room. And for me, I think Aaron, he's just got to stay at it. He's got to continue to preach the little things, being disciplined. And I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, it's not the most talented roster, but they could help themselves out a lot more if they just played with a lot more discipline.
Yeah, my first year in Tampa, we opened up with the Green Bay Packers. We lost 35-3, and we played them about week 8 or 9 in the season. We lost 14-10 in a game that we should have won, but we gave it away. I showed the team those 2 games. Hey, they're both losses, and the media just says, hey, you lost 2 games. We were so much better in the second game, and we're close. Green Bay goes on, they go to the Super Bowl that year, and we played them 14-10. So you have to look at it as where we are we progressing? Are we doing things that are going to eventually win? We ended up winning 5 out of our last 7 that year. We opened up the next year 5-0 and went to the playoffs. But if you just looked at those first 5 games, you'd say, oh, this is terrible. It's awful. But keep your nose to the grindstone, keep working.
And the thing about Aaron, too, I feel bad for him. And this is one of the reasons why it would be hard for me to take a head coaching job in New York, simply because of the media. Yeah. And it's such a huge responsibility. I mean, a lot of times you're more worried about the media than you are worried about your team because of all the outside pressure and all the outside noise. And if I were Aaron Glenn, I would just say, stick to your game plan and just continue to do what you believe in, coach. You're going to be okay.
Amen.
It'll be interesting to watch it play out. And the funny thing is, now that Rodgers has left there, he's been maybe the most stable at the quarterback position in the AFC North. If you look around,
I'll tell you what, that has been amazing to me. I thought Pittsburgh could win some games, but I thought it'd be great defense and just manageable offense. The offense is winning games for them. Their defense is making some plays, getting some takeaways when they need it. But he has played very, very well. If he stays healthy, they're going to just get more and more confidence, and he's been good for them.
And just from a leadership standpoint, you could tell those guys have so much respect and almost admiration for Aaron Rodgers. His leadership, when he's talking to them, he's teaching them. I mean, he's been really, really good. I like the fact that he seems like he's at peace, coach, out there as opposed to in New York. He just didn't seem very settled out there.
No, they're winning, and he doesn't feel like he's got to throw for 500 yards. But the big plays, the big moments, I want the ball in my hand, and he's making it happen for them.
He is. And the respect factor between Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, which I believe has been around for 2 decades at least, and it's now formed this really cool partnership between head coach and quarterback that you can feel through the TV screen. I can't wait to get out there and see the 2 of them in person in a few weeks and talk to them a little bit about that. All right, we talked Jets. Let's keep it in the division. The Patriots. Rodney, I want to play a clip because you were really adamant about Will Campbell in the pre-draft process. Don't get caught up in Travis Hunter. Don't get caught up in this, that, and the other. Take a tackle in Will Campbell. Let's roll the clip. Here was Rodney.
Rodney goes Will Campbell instead of Travis Hunter, which that's something that's been heavily debated. Rodney,
Can we talk about that real quick?
Yes.
If I'm Mike Vrabel, okay, it's easy to go out and get Travis Hunter and now you try to decide, is he a wide receiver, is he a corner? But when you go get Will Campbell, you know what he is. He's your left tackle. He's going to grow with your young quarterback, and he's to me, he's the best. Him and Calvin Banks are the 2 best left tackles in all of football. So you get a young guy like that, you have your protection, and it's more about need. At this point, you need offensive linemen. You need a guy that's going to come in and set the tone for your locker room. And what better way to get a young stud like Will Campbell?
Wow. I mean, what a great take. But how many shirts does Rodney own? That's the same shirt, Rod.
Well, I do have to give Rodney his props. So I disagreed on that. I'm always, let's take the weapon. Let's take the guy who can score points for us. But this was a good move for the Patriots, and it could show up on Sunday night because this is the way you need to play Buffalo. You need to go after them, and I think the mentality that Mike Vrabel has instituted there is paying off, Rod.
Yeah, Will Campbell wanted to be a Patriot. He wanted, and I just felt like he was the right guy. He's got a nastiness to him. He's a finisher, and just from an athletic standpoint, they talk about his short arms. And I don't know the difference between short and long arms, but at the end of the day, I thought he was a really good player that wanted to be in New England, and I thought that he would be a great fit to grow with Drake May, and it's been pretty solid thus far.
Yep. Saw him on the all rookie team this week. Didn't allow a single pressure in that game last week. And so it's just a game-changing thing. And we saw Joe Alt provide that kind of protection for Herbert as a young guy. And it changes the way he plays quarterback. He looked phenomenal. And then you saw Alt get hurt this past week, and everything looked different. And so that's the value of that. I see it nod your head there, Coach.
Yeah. No, Justin Herbert looked like a different quarterback in the second half of that Giants game than we had seen in the first 3 weeks. And I think Drake May is playing with very, very much confidence right now.
Absolutely, Coach. You talk about Drake May, and you're starting to see him come out of his shell. Mike Vrabel wanted him to be more of a leader, and you start to see him. He's doing the Cam Newton thing. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's directing traffic, he's bumping heads like Tom used to do with his guys. So I love the fact that he's coming out of his shell. And when you come out of your shell as a quarterback, the players embrace that because, especially with this dude, he's a good kid. So when he comes out of his shell, the players embrace it. They want him to play well. They want him to do well. And man, it's been fun to watch.
So now the question is, can they hang with Buffalo? I mean, that's the next obvious question. You play in that division. The rest of the team's not great. Miami, they look a little bit better. The Jets, they're struggling this year. Can you go hang with Buffalo? What do you think, Rodney?
Hang? Yeah, they can hang with them. And the Patriots don't have a lot of superstar players on the offensive side of the ball. Stephon Diggs probably being the biggest name, but they have 2 really good, outstanding tight ends that are big. They have 3 really good running backs. The offensive line has been playing solid. And I think Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator, he's done a really good job of doing a lot of the things that Drake May likes to do, moving the pocket, getting him outside the pocket, and allowing him to throw the ball down the field. And if that's not open, then Drake has been pretty smart. He's dumping the ball off to a tight end or a running back. So I like where he's headed, Coach.
Yeah, and I think they've got the perfect formula for this game. We were in Buffalo week 1. We talked to the Baltimore Ravens. What's your plan going to be? Run the ball downhill at these guys. They've got some downhill runners. Ramondre Stevenson, hang on to the football, but you can power it. You can run against these guys. And then when you get them where they have to defend that, now you take some play action shots. You go one-on-one, get Diggs there. Don't put it all on the passing game. Don't put it all on the pass protection. But I think they have a good formula to move the ball on these guys, Rod.
And defensively, I mean, Milton Williams, he looks as good as advertised. The secondary has kind of been a little up and down. Guys are starting to get healthy, but the Patriots and Mike, just the mindset of Mike Vrabel, they're going to go in there, they're going to compete. It's going to be a lot more competitive than what people think. They're not just going to blow the Patriots out.
No, it's tough to stop Buffalo's offense, but hey, if we've got the mindset, we're going to shorten the game, long drive, possess the ball. And the other thing the Patriots have, special teams. Okay, we've seen special teams make a difference all through this first month. And they've got a return game that is on fire right now. You can get a big play that way too and help your offense.
It's true.
If you're Bills Mafia, man, it's pretty sweet to have 2 primetime games at home in the first 5 weeks of the season. Obviously, that first one in week 1, it looked like they might lose the Ravens by 10 points. And then the last 3 minutes or so of that game, the comeback and what it's been just to spark and spring this team into this 2025 season, beating Baltimore. And now here they are again with the Patriots. Rod, are you going to pick the Patriots? I mean, you're a little high on them, but are you high enough to pick them?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Probably not. I probably not. who knows when I get there, the emotion talking to some of the players and coaches and things like that. But at the end of the day, they got to be able to stop Josh Allen. And we seen last week Josh Allen completely take over the game. When he wants to take over the game, he takes over the game. And it's really difficult to stop him. The offensive line, they believe in him. He's got a host of weapons. Keon Coleman has gotten a lot better from last year. He's playing with extreme confidence. So, Coach, I don't know who you're picking, but I would say right now I'm kind of leaning toward the Buffalo Bills, real talk.
And no, logic tells you Buffalo, but let's look at their home games. Opening night, they're down, should lose the game to Baltimore. Okay, last week, New Orleans is not a great team, and they're right there with a chance in the fourth quarter before, as Rodney says, Josh Allen takes over. But I think the Patriots have a better team than the Saints, and the Saints had some chances. So I think logic tells you Buffalo, but it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be there. I certainly didn't have Dallas scoring 40 points on Green Bay last week.
Yeah. True. Josh Allen takes over games right now to me in a unique way. Like I look at all the quarterbacks in the league. He is a little different to me right now. Like I feel like he's the best player in the world. Would anybody agree to disagree or agree to that? Go ahead.
1,000%. I was just thinking that as you were talking about. I said this guy's the best player on the planet. Period. I hadn't seen anything better than Josh Allen.
2-3 years ago, he was making plays, making those highlight reel plays, but then the bad turnover, the bad throw. He's eliminated those. And as Rodney said, I think he's a little more patient. I'm going to let my other guys do it until they really need me, and then I'll step up. But not turning the ball over with the ability to make those plays, I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's a problem. We're going to get to see that problem in person one more time. I can't wait to see you guys in Buffalo. We are going back to New York. And it's that other part of New York. We'll see you guys in Buffalo. No
and going in October and not January.
That's true. It's actually pretty sweet when you think about it. FNIA podcast, we are out. See you on the field in Buffalo. Great seeing you guys.
Good job, guys.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.